Díomhar madan na cháirde is Mr. Sean O'Gavin agus tá fáilte romh go Leavingcertirish.com. Tá fearhrónarm, an absolute disaster morning in terms of snow, trying to get out to the office, get things done. It's been a horrendous morning. I can't even describe it to you. And just trying to actually get the material sent to people as well. There was an error and I could not actually email to the group. So everyone who registered yesterday in particular, I think the numbers went over some kind of a limit on my email system, and oh God, it's been crazy. But anyway, I have sent a link to you to look at the notes. So if you can do that, that'd be great. So if people could just tell me, have in the chat box here, can you actually hear me okay? And is everything working all right? I'm going to have to turn off a few phones here just for a moment because this is going to go crazy. So we've got quite a lot of material here that we're going to try and get through this morning. So let me just bring up what the program we have for today is. So an chéadrod ná be mi dig díróisteach an mailtrial an chéadrod Vega Yenvgin na Agaleva Porrick McGillowera. So an interview with Porrick Gilmore, who is one of the best examiners you'll come across for the Irish Oral. And the plan is to play that again. I've had huge issues last night because of snow and whatnot. We decided to make sure that we would record the session for fear that neither of us would have electricity. At least then we would have had something. So what we've done is we've recorded a session and we're going to play that now so that you'll be able to listen to it and go through it. There's some really wonderful advice in that, and hopefully you'll learn quite a bit from it. And any questions you have, I'm hoping, again, technically this morning we're having so many issues, but I'm hoping that we might be able to connect with Porrick later on live on a Skype chat and be able to get some further feedback. So if you have questions, my suggestion would be that you would send an email to john@leavingcertirish.com or admin@leavingcert.com if it's for Porrick specifically. So john@leavingcertirish.com for the lessons that I'm going to be looking at, admin@leavingcertirish.com if it's a more general kind of a question. So this has been a pretty daunting sort of a day. We probably bit off a little bit more than we could chew. There was a lot of publicity yesterday. We were on the Ryan Tubridy show, the Irish Times. So I have to be perfectly honest with you, it's been a crazy couple of hours, to put it mildly. But normally this is a much more stable scenario. But anyway, it's Mr. Sean O'Gavin. Smúntar Gaeilge me. I'm an Irish teacher. I work in Crescent College Comprehensive in Limerick. I have been teaching live online for many, many years, and I love doing this. It's great fun to begin with, and hopefully what you're going to achieve working with Leavingcertirish.com over the next couple of weeks, and today especially, is that you're going to learn information that will help you to improve your grade for the Leaving Cert Irish Oral. So, just in terms of program today, we're going to focus on the interview initially. If anything goes wrong with that technically, I'll obviously stop it. Then the second part of our session is we're going to focus on the on Bhliain Chugainn, so next year, and Cuasaí Idirnáisiúnta Trump August Breatimeacht. So I had hoped to actually do a much more extensive lesson on Brexit, but what we found out last night was when we did the interview, we ended up with far more information in that than was originally intended. So the Breatimeacht, the Brexit lesson, is far too long, and I wouldn't be able to cover it today in the time I have. And if we had started on time, we'd have 10 minutes extra. We gotta go with it. And the last bit then, as I say, is going to be a Q&A session. So I'll be monitoring all the emails coming in, and hopefully as this session with Porrick takes place, it's a recorded session, as I say. If you want to send questions regarding what Porrick's saying, it'd be best to send them during that time, because I'll be here now as an admin in the background going through whatever it might be. So any questions you have at all, please send them through to me. So without any further ado, I'm going to go to the session with Porrick. and we're going to try and listen to that, and hopefully everything will go pretty well with that. So as I say, Pádraig McGillora is a wonderful examiner, and you're going to learn quite a bit here. I've put up along the left hand side some of the key features in terms of a Scéim Mharcála, and hopefully the sound quality is going to be okay here. This is meant to run slightly different to what we're doing this morning, but again, it's just one of those completely schizo situations, and we do our best with it. So Bhliain Ceist, maybe just go back to the live room here. Hopefully you can all hear the sound okay. I'm just checking here that the sound is okay, and that everyone is able to see what's going on. If the sound is a problem, could you just let me know that? That would be most helpful. Send an email in or let me know what's happening. All right, Gurmail Maghrib. So what we're going to do is we're going to go straight to the interview now with Pádraig, and hopefully it'll be a very useful session for you, and you'll learn quite a lot of information from it. Again, if there's any issues with sound or whatnot, you might just let me know. Hopefully this works okay. Díobh Pádraig.
Jés mar agad í cheann.
Cé go bhfuil tú an aile?
Ítach gur magad. Beag an fórach go maith.
Anwar fad. Agus inistom bhfuil in flein agat don dar seachtain is os rudaigh gur bhfuil an íon agat chomá leis an déirdín agus an sarna sa dánach.
Mu scíal ligint ach beag an ceartach chuna déine tá eistí na háteiste le ceartach.
Eistí na háteiste. Ardlevéil eistí. Ó hir na dia. So dóibh siúd nach bhfuil mór an Gaeilge Jacob, Shohe Pádraig McGillora. Pádraig is one of the most experienced Irish oral examiners you'll come across. He's been examining for Danish, Bhliain anos.
Breis agus Bhliain,
Breis agus Bhliain. So more than 20 years, Pádraig has consecutively examined at Irish Leaving Cert level. And one of the purposes of today's session is to talk about the marking scheme, and in particular some of the areas that students, I suppose, leave marks behind and don't fully develop their opportunity within the oral exam. So this is going to be highly relevant to both the Iarthóirí Gnálavéil agus Ardlevéil, both the higher and ordinary level candidates. And what we're aiming to do here today is, besides introducing you to Mharcála Pádraig, also give you the opportunity to send a few questions in by email. And we're recording this the night before the session, so this is Thursday night. The fear we have is we might lose some electricity in the morning, and if we did, we wouldn't be able to deliver this particular segment of the live lesson, which will be running live, assuming I have electricity. So Pádraig, inistom mar scrúdahór, cad é sort an chéad fíosa chóirla a bheith agad ghailte inis. Ag an buinte seo, tá ceiriseachtain, well, tá mígal beag nach fágé cuidhór daltaí. Cén sort chóirla a bheith agad ag an buinte seo?
Well, an rud is tábhachtaí ná clachta agus tíle clachta, practice and more practice. Obviously that'll be done leis an múinteoir sa seomáranga, but also at this stage you need to start conversing as Gaeilge le de chairde, as a seanachal says clachta in an máisteacht, and it's very, very important that you practice as much as you can between now and the date of the oral. So when you go into the room, nor a héintó seach sa seomar leis an scrúdahór, go maith tú compórtach galore agus tú a caint. Agus always remember, an scrúdahór tá os de chóir amach is múinteoir éin ó í. So taking siad an brú a bhín ar daltaí, taking siad go mín sib nervíseach, agus cabhró siad leat. So nor a héintó seach sa seomar agus nor a dhearann an scrúdahór tí a ghuit, freigríonn tú go compórtach tíos mar a ghuit. And it's very important to come across in as much as possible in a comfortable and relaxed manner. It'll help yourself in your exam agus cabhró sé le de work ag an deireadh.
An ceantas na rudaí a bhfuil me gcónaí ná tá anhabhta ag buint le ground, honest go dtí an gatainine, a little bit of humour is very important, and what Pádraig is saying here, I suppose, is really to be relaxed. A bheith de huimhnas in san scrúdú agus déisina a thuirt an scrúdú a bheith a huimhnas ó a suimhnas leat.
Oh, Kínte, and if you're, especially as we know, being dalty, being fragri, fólam head did lán bheabhar acu. And so if you give a fragri did lán bheabhar, something you learned off, agus má tá piece of green on, something funny, nach my commodoríre or the eye, that you let the scrúdú know that you understand what you said, agus gúil sé barú no grammar.
Is ceann an rudí is deachra faoin bosta bhín ag an scrúdú in na seachtaine sin ná. Bín hart 8 dalta nó níos mó ag an scrúdú i rinne seachtaine agus. Tá sé deachar a bheith géisteach leis an rámis atá fóilme de lán bhearach lá ní gléad. Tá sé fíorheachar sin dhéanamh ná ríor nach chuile far.
Well, tá ach ag an an céine, an dúchláán an challenge atá ag gach dalta ná do fiasa dhéana có simú agus is féidir leat.
So be individual about what you're doing where you can.
Oh, absolutely. Tá na scrúdú tí tuirseach a géisteach le U2, no na Simpsons, no Coronation Street, no Home and Away. A kind faoi clár telefíse, caithead tú clár a fiocha atá réasúnta simú agus bhfuil tú ábal a pí a cainte dhéana faoi. Tá sé andeachar pí a cainte dhéana faoi Home and Away. Ach má raníonn tú clár nós grand designs, one born every minute, ceann mar sin is féidir an clár a bhíú. Agus seans má nach bhfuil an clár sin feici ag an scrúdú agus ba tusa ábalta insin chun scrúdú céad go dtíreach atá sa gláir sin. Agus chomála caithventure má imrinn tú péil ná bírá bhfuil tú imrinn tú lár na parca. Imrinn gachtain a lár na parca agus bín an scrúdú tuirseach a géisteach lei sin. Is cuma ard nó ísisiil.
Ní fér le gachtain a bheith mar rá cín, yeah?
No, ní féidir. So, híomh caithventure de, beidir peocht rud éigen atá éagsúil, snáb,
a bit of variety, the dalty in you. Like, variety is the spice of life, more there as bear like this.
As you said, 8 dalta, one after the other, it becomes slightly tedious, but it's up to the scrúdú to draw the conversation, the talk from the student, but at the same time, the student has an obligation to make their piece simul, agus spatial.
Okay, I know our fad. So, and ruddy made an issue for it now. Lenemy 3 done Scéim Mharcála mar atá sé. Díreach mar ar de réir Leavingcertirish a bhína going in san scrúdú. So, tá méid ag an tús leis an bháil tú, mar scrúdú. An féidir leat sort tróir a chóirt don héisteoir inniu, maidir leis na marcaní a chailtar leis an bháil tú. Conas a chailtar iad?
Well, it's rare a chailtar mark leis an bháil tú. Mar tegar mu ríis go mín na gasar go mín siad nervhíiseach. So, nílortach cúig ceiste ragart, agus nuair hagann sé chuig cábhailt with the chonaí, ní chaithe tú aon orbert. No development on that answer, bar ráfís a ólas tá cónaí orm mar hampla in óran mór I gunda in a gaiileh. So óran mór is your first piece of information, I gunda in a gaiileh your second, But you're expected there to give 2 points of information faoi dáit cónathe. On screwdriver, you can have it written on your hand. Some students get mixed up with the numbers, but really, if you misplace a number, they're not going to nail you for that. It's those 5 marks are the settling down marks. So crucial is there's your 5 marks now to start off with. And it's only after that, really, that we get into the marking scheme. So it's on of a halter mark, leis an bhailte.
Tá céise gom as cluisiimi an chéisio gomininic lína. Má hagan duine isteach agus der siad rud ar nós díoghuit nó ar tusa díoghuit agus an sin der siad díoghuit ar ais thugad. Cén sort éifeachta a bhíonn in rud beag, fíor-bheag mar sin, urtsa mar scrúdathóir. An gapan tú gur dalta gnála bhéil an dalta sin ar dús. nó an gcuireann sé isteach ar an sort tuairm a bheith agat ag deireadh
Níor cheart go mbeadh. Níor cheart go mbeadh in éifeacht ag sin ar an mark. Mar, is cumann a daltaí ard level nó gná level. Déta dís they could déta dís botún gon sortna dhéanana agus iad ag tosú amach. It's only when you get into the down to the real shrap picture in the core, that's when you realise what level the student is at. So if you make a simple mistake like Gia as opposed to Gia Smurrahuch, no, let that not put you off, because that's only the warm-up.
Okay, so huge advice for people, because this is one of the most common questions that I hear on Leavingcertirish.com, in emails to me and indeed phone calls when I'm talking to people. Don't get worried about losing marks because of button fear-bheag atá gceist an seo now a fáric nach bhfuil.
Fear-bheag, no.
So the examiner understands you're nervous and understands that clearly, you're going to, shall we say, forget a lot of the very basic stuff. You might come in, you mightn't have your laces tied, is a common enough type of thing that we'd see.
Yeah.
But it's essential that students relax about that. I suppose when we get into the substantive marks, the réir Scéime feicisiv céir atá gceist. So, leanna míad right. So, cúig bharc an fáil tú beidh sé gachtainna in our ire.
Yeah.
Now, Darrod, Gavin, Léamh na Filiochta, Inis dúin na fáric, cén chuí go gailtar marcanna sa chuid seo den scúil. How do students lose marks in this section of the exam? We all know it's 35 marks. There's more marks available for this section of the exam than the entire written question at Ard Level for the poetry or indeed for the prose. 35 marks versus 30 for Léamh na Filiochta. Now, clarify 3 rud for me. A chéad rud. An féidir leat de leabhar féin a thuairt isteach sa scrúdú. Can you bring in your own book?
Céad faoin géad, absolutely. Your own
100%.
notes.
Right.
100%.
One dragon slayed in you. Inis, an dara rud, an féidir leat. Focail eile a scríomh taobh leis an dán féin insan téacslar. Can you write other words, phonetics, beside the poem on your book?
Cínte féidir leat.
Okay, agus an trí rud, an féidir leat, bilógi a thuairt isteach inionad téacslar.
Is féidir.
Is féidir. So there we go. We've got all 3 of the big questions slayed immediately. Can I just add something to the last point, Foric? And this is again, especially for people who would be Gnálavéil, because I know this is an issue. While you are allowed to bring in the textbook and you are allowed to write in phonetics, I strongly urge you not to use sheets, and I'll tell you why. Because people lose sheets so easily. And if you find yourself on the day of the exam and you haven't got your phonetics written in, the panic that creates is crazy outside of the exam room. An 18 tool is sin foric.
Oh, in team, yeah, in team. It's imperative go to agrathe go hillis go homeland fully organised on the day, because at 35 marks, there should be no reason why you shouldn't get full marks on Léamh na Filiochta. It's a great part of the exam to do well in. Agus chomala sin too small and the hybrid, before you even start into the shrap picture, Lacuna J, you have 40 marks in the bank. Agus is too on wahishan.
Okay, so afar tá Catla Daniel going in ish. Léhime an Don Gavin le Kathleen Maud. Go ras a chéile. don chéadán Brunmarchorm agus don darle Brunmarchorm ríist le dahil. Okay?
Aberlad.
So, Gavin le Kathleen Maud. Anvi me, Anvi alta, asna choker sa, a will clú agus cal mushkev. Crihin, crinta na quill, trala mo gor. Ac anish, liam shees, agus bratneam, tree, lashul, an crown, Einrich, shin towel. Tagan na Keta Dini Chilla Law Yen Huck Rud B Dom Ac me a Liginamach March Ledahal
Ochtig.
Now, there's a lot of people listening there who might be thinking he didn't do too bad there at all. In fact, that's very similar to what I do. Okay. Laganella, Gavin le Kathleen Maud. Anavi me, Anavi alta, asna cho. Okay, right, I'm being off Asia Gunshaw. I'm going to stop that. Anavi me, Anavi alta, asna chochrasa, a with clue agus call mushkev. Chrihin crinta na quilla tra, lemagor, ach inish, liam shies. Agus bratneam trí lahul an ground Einrich shinhal. Tagan na Keta Dina, chuile lá, a dhéanach rudder bitam, ach me a ligan amach. Ríist.
Lán Warker sin. Lán Warker sin. Because mar scrúda hor, so tu a glorg tsirod. If we're a hen fawriach in a pronunciation, if we're a do rhythm the vocal and the rhythm, agus if we're a three tishkent an rudata a levagat, an understanding of what you're reading. And the second time there, Bhliain, it was obvious, gur hig to an rudavita ag lev.
Okay, so ríist don adalti tá géisteach an rud is mófaí lev na filiochta ná. Ní gáda golasteach. Gan a bheith olbhathe I gceart. Tá sé có siimplí golasteach le a leabhar beidh na phonetics in aice agus ar in aice leis an dáin agus beidh tú ná an fáiriocht a bheith furfa perfect an lá agus gan dátar be lenig a lán daltaí ar aig leis an olbhúcháin a gcóir na béaltréalach agus ní chaithfidh siad níos mó ná beidir fehanómid ag olbhú a gcóir léamh na filiochta. Agus, shin rud ufasach. So for anyone who's thinking, sure, this is grand, it's easy to read the poetry, you can see with, okay, maybe it's been a little bit exaggerated in some of the mistakes I made first time out. But Pádraig would tell you, so many people come in and would read it like that.
Agus, tushka ben héad rud ar an scrúdú, because it's the first thing, really, the first big part of the exam. You're laying down a marker for the rest of the scrúdú, If you can get, into the 30s and hopefully you're 34, 35 or 35, my year intuition, to the glegan she's mark, gun scrúdú, tama darira fwy seo, tama ré gun scrúdú seo, ta tolvu chain agam, agus, it's you're all set to go. Agus plus, tuair sin winning confidence that ag dalarai sa sha picture agus a góra. So, caithe tú an iliochta ina goma agus efa olbha goma. Ní réon leisceal, no excuse really not to do well in the filiocht.
In our era, before go bhaid gach dalta lán mark nach
Oh, becheart.
Ní léon leisceal be. So, tréis nó me gale, beidir bheoch carchacha dahad mark sa bhálagat, mas féidir leite sin ará.
Yeah.
Dúr Pádraig rud an sin. Pádraig said something there. Tá sé fearhabh do domsa an natha thugam féin ná an Tosca impression, the impression factor. Agus tá sé sin riachtanach ag an buinte seo sa scrúdú. Okay, so ní sin lean míad raig go dtí an gné beidir is úfásaí faoin scrúdú ó hé vibrate ná an trá pictor. Agus sa trá pictor bín fithe sráthagainn agus inistú in fóric mar scrúdathór an próses a bhín I bhaim agatsa an lá madidir le ránú na stratha.
Well, nós pack of cartaí, just like a pack of cards. By shrap pictor by she'd umpy bonos kun maured.
Okay. Agus don dalti ganala veil nachhfuil mór an Grega just mínig sin tá se seo tágdoch nachhfuil.
Yeah, just like the pack of cards that'll be turned upside down. And you will have to slide one out, and it's look at the draw. But by gachtan exuda beidir iver hen or iver do, and there's always a few nachmada dalti all, some of the tougher ones. But it's look at the draw really. But that's how the process works. They're usually kept in a little folder, and you put in the hand and take one out, just like the lucky bag.
Okay, so. An lato tarsúla go to Narira first, okay?
Oh yeah. Cranker na mail trailer.
Yeah. So an crankor is taught ar an log an doubt. So inistum tigan gacht in a gwil sé Victor acu. Ac ni higan alá an dina an tábhacht a bhainean leis an géad Victor. Inis doing faoin tábhacht ó de réir na Scéime a bhainean leis an géad Victor.
Well, so in yena much sin tá 3 second agat, on piece of ulvu hotain, you have 30 seconds to look over it, and rather than getting anxious agus burha when kiana tá round agat, try to compose yourself, to glance over the picture, get familiar with the scale, and use those 30 seconds wisely before you start off into picture again. And on average you're looking at 3 Albert per picture, and obviously for the Dalty art level they'll be able to expand a bit more on that. The Dalty Ganal level, they'll be quite happy if they get the 3 Albert, and mullen that to break it up into a picture a hen, a picture a do. Because you're clearly telling the examiner you're moving from one picture to the next. So tá sé sin tábhachtach agus cowrin sé go mór leis an dalta.
Okay, so have marking it reached the fork. Better count the question is more ekim reached now. An gahe tu an I'm sure hata usod, an gahe tu an I'm sure larhoch usod. An gail for Mharcála mar bhfuil an aimse chatain úsad agat, mínig mar scrúdathór an próses a bhín agat.
Well, multar dit an aimse chaite nó an aimse láircha úsáid. So it's féidir an scéal inchins an aimse chaite, nó an aimse láirch. Now, uanta, sometimes, you could be going long onto the aimse chaite, and then picture a car, picture a cuig, you slip into the aimse láirch, and you might revert back into the Amshire Catch again. Really, on the overall scheme of things, ní in indifferent. If one slips, if there's a verb put in the present tense, overall the loss of marks there is minimal, if at all. So ná be bored of sin. But mullen dit agus tú I din of stager don se pictor, either din of san Amshire Catch, no san Amshire Lorach, and stick with that tense right through. All the way, because if you can practice the Amshire Catch regarding all the shot pictor by tu goma just like the Amshire Lorach, if you stick with the Amshire Lorach, you'll be well versed in the Amshire Lorach law.
Yeah, so sort of a continuity, a lenunachas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so glee for leis an Amshire Céine, right? So that the students would stick to the same tense. Mar bhúntóir mullum an aimsir láirach os rud é gur féidir leat an aimsir chaite agus an aimsir áisneach a thuirteach in san scéal. Sin an rud a bhullum féin. That's what I recommend to people. A bit of the aimsir láirach and the aimsir caite and aimsir áisneach can all be mixed together, but you would have to use the aimsir láirach for that. The Aimse Cacha, if you go to Aimse Cacha, it generally is nearly 99% Aimse Cacha if you're going with that. Okay, so Arisht, o heb cursi amada, Keved nomad a voluntu the gach pictor. So a well sort choran in Wintlesh and Rud.
Well, Neil and Brahancher an dalta idain, the Dinion agus Cahancheat, three nomad an sharp pictor, it in a Kershis and sharp pictor, now that's possibly ro yard. Multer idger kuig agus shach nomad the chav. That's the general rule. Idger kuig agus shach nomad. Having said that, some will go less than that, some will go OTT and go more than that. But in general, you let the student finish. But rule of thumb, 3 Albert, at a minimum, per picture.
Okay, and just to clarify, if you use 3 Albert, because we want to be very careful that an Ard Level student wouldn't fall into this. If you use 3 Albert, and go back to the original question, Fuin Gate Victor, there's 10 marks awarded, Denmark done Kate Victor, August, 8 mark in Gien in Yishin, okay?
Okay.
August, and Doilats, go away, Dalta Ardlevel, Denmark, ma Lannin Shidraigle, just 3 Albert, it's a Kate Victor.
Well, Brahan sé an Kershisa yin sé, má tá an Cyrus Goige, má tá an Goige soch má, yo for she'd long mark, brought on Goige soch má, Brahan sé, ach tá sé, it's up to the Dalta Ard level, to flower out the language, Goige hever, úsáid. Agus má yin sé de sin, no, it's keen to féidir lo, sé, seach nabert, úsáid, tá rau sin acu. Ach, gonna gasur gana level 3 at the minimum. After that is bonus territory, and a reach. It all depends on can sort gailge at on the outside jacket.
So reach tagan share ashkrig and rud is tauti igoni severe trail store focal August na na kind of in a new sad August.
Oh, kinch store focal. That's it's vocab. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, shine good deal. Okay, so Norata on Kershis den August, tá quaig marker fall down Kershis nach well.
Tá
August in Ishin Carter Keshener a chéile. So Tossian on Dalton an Earhor Fein Lena Keshener no Lena Keshener. So Shin on Rud a Harlina Goni, naha?
Sé.
So
yeah, Tosin an Dalta a curtsy kiste an screw the hor.
Shin mar screw the hor reached its fair la pay keste car and screw the hor Margalta. Ach mar screw the hor bin ear hori harve imnioch nach maishi the noun ne kestene a chorhig an screw the hor a raggart. An god of a ve borhe fwishin a fork.
Ní gá, mar ní chorn na screw the hori kestene dekra con mark on the awans con the gasser.
Okay, aber she's not barely now. Honest, go digging the dalty is big and
So the examiners are not setting out to catch you out or to take marks from you. The 3 questions they give will be as fair and as easy to answer as they can make them. They understand the pressure of a sharp pictor. Your 3 questions aren't going to be overly difficult, and neither are theirs.
Okay. So tasha shin harve soler. Ni go den a ve borhe fwin na keshna show. It's just gano roll at all gestion. So it's kinol road lach at all.
Yeah. Rud tá fear havatach. Mona higan to encased, be keen to gunyeran to make sure you ask the examiner to repeat the question, because there's only subtle differences. These are K agus Ka, so be keen to Mona higan to encased, gunyeran to listen through the her, gumalishkel near higmain keshin, gumalishkel and fagelet and keshin the her reach. agus ní chala tú éonhharc I generation.
Cosúlis na mion bhutú na bhí mar cain faoi níos luithe. You know, ní is mútar atá os de chormach, agus ní gá daine bheith bortha, you know, faoi mion rudí mar seo. Okay, so tá chuirsí is déint as tá na ceise chur tá 5 mark fága a fóric. 8 mark nomlan atá gceist an trapictor. So, céim fá nó conas a runter an 5 mark atá fági.
The figure mark atá fanta is comas changa Asian, you know, and this is where the grammar comes in, you know, and that goes right back to your description of the trap picture plus your answer, the 6 questions, your answers and the questions you put. I guess Brahan sé cé clean, just how accurate your Gaeilge was, and that comes back down to Corsi grammar, the grammar which unfortunately a lot of students mightn't be too fond of, but by and large, as long as your tenses were good, you know, and your Gaeilge was you know, of reasonable quality, you'll be getting 15 plus, you know.
Okay, so reached na gnéhes banúsi den teanga tá riachtanach I gcónaí, you know, gombeach na heimsí geart agat.
Na bríomhre se.
Bríomhre, gofuil sé réasúnta crín agus fáíocht má agat. Sinní na rudí is banúsi in áíre nuair atá cumas a gceist. Okay. So, taréis beidir 7 nóméid nó mar sin bheoch fáil tú léamh na filiachta agus an trapictor curtha gríoch agat. An sin lena tú ráid leis an góra farc. Cinad a warin an chóra? Déige ná.
Well, níl fách an sin beidir 7 nó 8 nóméid, you know, beidir 8 nóméid max atá fách an sin. Agus ní mór an ame sin, you know, that's not much time to get across what you want to say. So, if we're here, you know, you must be kindle my fun content or the desire to talk, not so much as you're throwing it out so fast, not digging on screw the her to be nice and calm, same time to be enthusiastic about the conversation. You know, fun content, a desire to talk. So you shouldn't fear of it.
Okay, I know what fad. Agus, just a tús the chóráte, an gapan tú go gaithigh daltaí sort firmle an gnágáilta a leanún. Sin, you know, inistom futain. An chéchais a churm de gná galtaí ná inistom futain, no inistom fuid a clown. Gná rudí. An dosí an tusa de gná le kishin mar sin. Chun iad a chur a súdnas.
Oh, igoni, always generation, you know. Tosin amach le ceist atá réasúnta éasca. Inis dom faoi the fáin, no inis dom futain. You know, and what that does is it just gets the rhythm of speech going and gets the student all calm and collected for the rest of the conversation. But by and large, you know, the examiner, they set out with a nice easy question to start you into it, and then the conversation grows from there.
Okay, I know. So, ceandas na rudaí a churna stachar na daltaí is mó tá sé feice agat mar bhúntas mise chumá. Irene siad nervhíiseach faoi cheistna atá sna man conversáide, you know, cuasaí ratha. An gá daine a bheith mar hanolaí politúil. No, you know, does anybody need to be a political expert for this exam? Because people worry that unless I know everything about the government, everything about the health service, I'm going to be in trouble. Can we nail that one right now? Do people have to do that, or is it optional to go down that road?
Well, it's optional, but tá chance fear bheagán. It's very, very, very small chance go mai ceistear be faoi cuasaí políochta, no cuasaí economiachta, no faoi Trump or whatever. With, you know, níl fácach 8 nóméid cainte. That's very, very little, you know, and it's up to you really how you steer the conversation, you know. If you say go bhfuil Scéim agat the cuasaí políochta, if you say come into ag féchann prime time, whatever. Well, obviously then the next question will be, well, can scale is Janie of your prime time, or can scale of your prime time rare, and then you're into Trump and Keshna Politichta. But the chances
so you know, Fáric, bei mi dig play Keist faoi Trump agus Breatimeacht ag deir ceachta seo, so nach chur sa bhosca brúscar go humla.
Well, yeah, well, Tasha, it's up to yourself. You lead it. You lead it where you want the conversation to go. I guess Trump ulvahagad. If you've prepared Trump and you're confident speaking about him, well then make sure be keen to go dogan to a shachs a go. You know what you have prepared, you must do your best to bring in.
Sin go dtíach agus bín na multi céine aga mar bhúntóir agus mar scúdóir, you know, ná dírig an chórá she's boring nach bhfuil tú compórdach leis. Agus éon rud a d'irtar tú steig den scrúdú. Is féidir leis an scrúdachóir cheist a chuirt faoi sin. Agus ní higann an daine gur bíd héana atá ciúntach as na botúna dhéantar in san scrúdú. Nach é?
Oh, sé, mar tan scrúdachóir, you know, they'll pick up on the fraggery hugan tú. They'll pick up on things you mentioned, be it Cav Amshran, no Skull, no Kibero Telefish, you know, and they might come back to it, something you mentioned earlier, they'll come back to it, agus Kershi Kestrat for you, and if you mention it, be ready, be prepared, go gaha to piece of canty in the bed.
I know where fad. So, Trish Nomad no go being the Keshan is Bulnusi, Fragrig and Dalta, you know, Ishtam Futain, Ishtam for the clan, Ishtam for the counter. Any sin cin sort choráte bhí ná bíonn sé bunathe garthimplacht an dalta don chuid is mó nacha agus cin sort ceisne a chuir tusa I láthair na huaire cin sort ceise a chuir tú tréis gá náid just to sampla na go just níl me géirí, you know, aon rud sort faoi rúm an seo ach tá me géirí Fálamach, cén sort ceisne ar Bhliain an chórá seo?
Well, you know, it's a ration major tá ráite again. Má tá tusa caint faoi Skull, agus seans má go bei ceist faoin Skull. You know, and má dhear an tusa go bhfuil gur má leat gailge mar ábhar. Well then, you've opened up a can of worms there. Is má leat gailge an route to Reeves of Gaeltacht? Céir ceapan tú faoi scéal na gailge bhfuil an gailge ag dul ó neart go neart nó bhfuil an teanga ag fáil níos lige. So, you know, there's an example, you know, from Skull. Your Cav Amshra, you know, again, whatever you mention in Cav Amshra, be prepared to develop it, you know. But if you come with very basic answers, mar hampla Cav Amshra is malum soccer, and you don't develop that no more, well then what you're doing is you're forcing the examiner to go down another road that you mightn't have prepared. So whatever answer you do have prepared, be it Cav Amshra, be it Skull, be it Sour Shakatsa, be it Sour Shahuggin, you must have enough to keep you going for a good 60 seconds of kind.
Okay. Yeah, sin beidir ceannas rudí eile a cluster faoi go minic ná céhé dáma a bhfuilfás de ghuine a chahal ábhréigen an féidir le duine bheith I kind of like 3 nóids faoin ngéige nó cuasaíocht na míochta nó péad atá alba.
Well, no, mulum, you know, go mar ghaltaí héin ar Skull, ní rá bheith caint fin ghaeilge fad 3 nóiméad nó cuasaí polítíochta nó cuasaí eacnamaíochta. You know, má tá dóbal te fiú an 3 second cainte agus, you know, bheith neart agad an sin. Saolaí nach bhfuil 8 nóiméad cainte fágaí. So má dhéantas a caint ar fear cuasaí eacnamaíochta ar fear 3 second nó 4 second, tá go leor ráite agad. You know, ní bheith aon seint agad bheith play, you know, ábhar ar nós, you know, ábhar nós foréigen nó ábhar nós eacnamaíocht na tíre ar fear 3 nóiméad. Ní bhíoh tú an sin. Time is limited, you know. So, you know, I instead of preparing a lot on maybe 3 topics, I'd much recommend to have a small bit on 6. You know.
Yeah, mar ní bhín like ní bhín isig an dalta céir de harlóid go díochan san scrúdú, so tá sort solúpacht a thugam sort flexibility ag tastal ón dalta I gcónaí agus an mulla sin ná go mbeadh sort réimse leathan ábhar olbhah go inionad rud ag an Harbh cún.
Cínte tá sé sin ceart.
Yeah, an mar fad. So agus tú ag ddridum chuig deire scrúdan sin céird cad é an difriocht ríist mar scrúdathóir idir an dalta well an sein chóras a bhí goin ná éhéin dó a cad é an difriocht idir an dalta a aon lánmarch agus a dalta aon 250 as na marcaní. Cad é an difriocht? Má tá duine géirí an seo like tá golóir duine géiste sa féchantar an gach seo tá si de géirí fáil amach conas is féidirlumm sort an léim sin nó an chéim sin a dhéana ó 210 250 go dtí 200 is 10. Cad é an difriocht idéantain mar scrúdathóir?
Well, is dócha brahan sé a gárod. Iver a híam stór focail agus iver dó cumas teanga agus stór focail your vocab agus cumas teanga how accurate you are with your grammadach, you know. But out of those two, stór focail sin an ceannas tábhachtaí, you know, you will lose minimal marks, you know, for if your grammadach is slightly wayward. But if you haven't got the stór focail, that's where you're going to lose the major marks. 75 marks for the stór focail. If you're drumming off down to 60, 55, 50, that's where your 10-15% is gone. Your grammadach, you 45 marks going for it. You know, if your grammadach is slightly off, you'll drop to 35, possibly 30. But then you've only lost 15 there. It's much easier if you haven't got the vocab. When I say vocab, you know, I mean the shanachal, not necessary, but you know, if it suits the conversation, you know, don't go out of your way to put in shanachals where they don't suit the situation of the conversation. But if one suits it, put it in, you know. But that's all down to vocab, you know. Sayings, nachanakanta, and good vocab. That's where the marks is, combined with the grammadach. But definitely, and with the tábhachtaí, no, stór focail.
Okay, agus an cheist dhearnach atá gom a nachta forig. Agus is ceist chunspódach í seo bhealach. Mar níonn sé le golóir duine seo chleistáil ach an gaithé an dalta blas a bheith acu. Now, an rud atá I gceiste gom ná blas osná dúrtha. Inis doing faoi chórsaí canúna agus an blas. So for those who don't know what that means, we're talking about the dialectal differences, pronunciation according to a dialect, and the tone and the sound of the language. Some students come in with a very contrived version of that, and it can make it a really big problem for the examiner, because you have to decipher, well, you know, how natural is this or not. What do you think of this, Porrick? Just so people understand this, because this is a major concern people have, if they don't sound like they've spent a lot of time in Connemara or
no, I think it's far worse to put on to go overkill with the blas than to speak as natural as you can. You know, I mean, okay, if you're Boris Johnson, you might lose a few marks and I put Gaelic on that, but by and large, other than that, I mean, you're not going to lose many marks. You're not going to lose marks for not having the real plus. I mean, that's not part of the marking scheme, you know. But as I said, what students do, they sometimes go into overkill and they're spitting across the table at you, and no one wants that.
No, definitely not. Okay, so tá golóir clúda again a Forrick just can sort wrap up a dhéanamh ar an rud. Nuair a bheith an scrúda hart, fágad tú slán ar a chéile, you'll say goodbye to one another, Cad dhéanaan an tusa an sin? Céfad am a chahan tusa I chur na Mharcála le chéile agus cén sort próses. Onas go digid daltaí cén sort próses a bhín in úsáid nó I bhaim agat.
Well, nor organ and Dalta and Chumra, Tar left the mark and the Bruntig and Buintishin. Half the marks have been already awarded before you ever stand up to go. The 120 from the fall to the Fidiocht and the Shrap Pictor have been given. So it's down then to the Store Fuckle at 75 and the Cumas Changa at 45. So there's still half the marks to be awarded, but the examiner has a fair idea at that stage what they're going to give you, but just to wrap up, to share fear of the very important again that some students are so relieved that the exam is over, they almost get off the chair and run out the door, half with excitement and maybe the other half nerves. But to share fear of it, nor to unscrew the heart, gunyeran to let unscrew the heart, gurmagat agus slán, just to be as relaxed and as natural. Remember, it's a conversation that you've had with the examiner. You're trying to be as natural as possible, and if you're to converse with someone on the street, you wouldn't turn away and leg it down the street. You'd say goodbye to them before you'd part your ways. So just blood beag and chin. To be it's over at that stage. The marks have been given. The examiner knows what they're going to award you, and just for yourself, to leave on a nice, relaxed note.
Okay. Are you saying they should give you a little kiss and shake your hand and maybe a little present or
Slán will cover all.
Okay, Porrick's married. He's not interested, guys. After Ainqui, Porrick gur míle maithagats as ocht an ocht na hibre shot an ocht. Tuig mí go léir go bhfuil stim Emma Tivmo agus súla dia níl siúr ó gananis súla dia bei me hen in an ifig seo ágáil gan cúpla nóid ach amárach nuair a bheith an ceacht beá dhéanamh goin lína seans go méid Porrick an éanaach linn chun ceisna ragart so beig an gné seo den cheacht amárach Porrick bei sé Lua galore in San Ceacht féin. So beagdína an ceisna charla céile agus iad a cheola thugan agus ag deirn cheachta bé míad ag tuair freagraíochtas na ceisna atá go. So súla dia bé míad I deagháil leat amárach lína an bhón ar a leid más féidir. So thanks to Porrick for the huge advice. You have it there now from one of the most experienced examiners in the country telling you straight how it is. Aríist tá explaine faoi tá siad míntainna gom an tan galéir Ainqui mar tá ran ganála bhéile gom in lína ach just for the weaker student again, is there any final piece of advice you give them? Tá ceist beag goháin eile gom, right? Play me this sin again with it. Any final piece of advice for the weaker student in terms of the oral?
Well, what I would say is to view the examiner, they're a teacher. They've left a class behind them. Some other school around the country. Tashidan kun cowerlet, hofada agus is féidirlo. They will help you along as much as you can. They're not there to take marks from you. They're there to give marks to you if you do the talk. And basically, a bail trail, the oral Irish, it's all down to talking. They don't want to be there putting question after question after question after question. So my yin and tuss on kinds, you offer to the Mharcála. If you do the talk, you get the marks. So to go in that frame of mind that the examiner will give me the marks if I perform to the best of my ability and if I can continue to keep up the conversation to a good level in the exam. Okay. So not to be nervous,
Now, ceist amháin eile, is ceist sort difriú lei seo ar bhealach. Tá go leor dína fásta I ggéisteach nó ag féchant ar an gceach seo inniu. Agus tá an áirteist, tá an ghaeilge á dhéanamh go ríist don darúir agus iad beidir I géirí cáilíocht a haisig an bhaint amach or obair mar bhuntóir bunscoile nó rud mar sin. So inistum, for anybody who is a mature student or is coming back and hoping to learn Irish for a second time for the Leaving Cert, is there anything specific as an examiner that you would advise them to do at this point that mightn't be necessary for your traditional Leaving Cert student?
Well, Scéim, obviously, what that eliminates is inistum faoin scoil seo. You know, the school question is taken out for your favourite subject, you know, facilities, rialacha, age of school, etc. And the most obvious question will be, will Céim fá gúil tú an seo? Céim fá gúil tú an seo? Céim fá gúil tú ráise tína gaig in the Hartiste Gundara úr. So to be prepared on that, and to be prepared to explain where you were for the last 3, 4, 5, 10 bliana, 50 blian later, you know, where were you, where have you worked, what course did you do in college, and why are you back now? You know, and if they are competent, mátá siad sásta agus ábalta an cainteanna dhéanamh, the majority of the exam could be taken up on that sole topic.
Ach go fáric, mé sú darmid faoi rud éigin fíor hábhtach. Nílach gá ocail ag tastal uhu, léhananta sira. Ní léon rud eile. Tuigim í go léon scéil sin. Ach sin mar atá. Aon chuí fáric, gur an míle mágad ríis as 8 na hibre nocht, agus bé mi de deagháil leat sa bhadan ríis. Agus is féidir le dína búla leat agus mé héin á méigint eile ar lína bé cúpla sesiúna dhéanamh goin I gcóir na béal trílach díreach rih ré. So I rin na cásca tásúla goin go méid sort cúpla sesiúna dhéanamh goin. So búla míad leat péiscéile.
Tá go má agus gon éir le gacht ina tá dul faoi scrúdú am léana.
Okay, gur míle mágad a fáric. So Iwa Colasáv as bé míad a deagháil leat a ríis Mark. Slán.
Tá go má, Iwa, slán.
Okay, so sin an ceachta bhí again nó an taglaibh rinne mé le páric a réir. Buchas le dia go nearna mé or we would have been in real trouble this morning with all that had gone on. So yeah, we've got hundreds of people on the webinar right now asking all sorts of different questions and getting a lot of emails in as well. And I was just in contact with Páric there while that recording was taking place, and I'm hoping to ring him in a Skype chat in a little bit of time. So for everyone, we're not finished. The notes link that I have at the bottom of the YouTube page. So if you're on a computer, it's probably easier than if you're on a phone. But I think it's about the third sentence down or something. In the notes section, you should be able to click on a link there that brings you to a PDF, and that gives you the notes for what I'm about to teach, and you can print them out or whatever you decide to do. But don't worry, we will be sending out to every single person who's on our email list. So if you go to the website, make sure you're on that email list, because everything that we do today I'll wrap up and I'll send it out to you at a later point. Possibly tonight, but more likely I'd say tomorrow with the way things are going. So if you click on the notes section, the notes link of the website, I'll just give you that now. Just for anybody who's just watching the live stream, I'll put that into the thing, and you just register on that. And basically what I do is I send out an email with notes or with updates, or every time that there's a live stream class, which will be probably every week from now on. You will also get notifications if you sign up to that. So anybody who's signed up in the last 24 hours in particular, you should start getting something from that in the next couple of days. So Anish, bhualam lant Anish chuig an gacht madar leis an Bhliain seo chugainn. Now there are questions there. I've answered quite a few of them in the text. I'll deal with two maybe before I continue on into the main lesson. So in Céadrod now, Owen says, will any marks be taken off if you accidentally say a word or verb in a different language, for example, Spanish, etc.? Not at all. We're all teachers. Everyone understands, you've got your Spanish, your French, your German oral the following week or the week before, whatever it is. Everyone understands, So So, j'habite in Gundy and Clár. Don't worry about that. If you're going to say something like that, nobody's going to say anything to you. Do you need to use the Mo Conneal to get the highest marks? The answer is no. Just using the Mo Conneal for the sake of using the Mo Conneal out of context would be a very bad idea. So it would be important to, yes, demonstrate that you can use it. So the Muhan Lato cared a Chanofa, maybe, but the Mo Conneal question isn't asked of everyone if the exam isn't moving in that direction. You know, if it's clear that someone's struggling with their I'm sure Chacha, I'm sure Lárach, well, the examiner may not even go near the Mo Conneal because it won't be effective. So there was another question that I wanted to address as well. Would they be likely to ask about the environment due to this weather? Well, one of the Srá Pictor, don't forget, is Drochaimshire and Rivrig Ahru Eroja. So if you happen to pick out that Srá Pictor, it's an absolutely perfect opportunity to talk about Cursi Timplachta. And in some of the lessons, the high-level lessons that I would do here with subscribers, I would be looking at doing that. So that's something we can talk about another time. But yeah, it's a very obvious one. I think, I'm looking out the window here in front of me. It's absolutely horrific right now. I spent an hour this morning trying to shovel some snow and try to get in here. Okay, so Lanmu Rai Gudi and Cacht Fain, Mata Gachtin Asostalishin, and Bhliain Keshelig and Buinta Shaw. Is there anything anybody wants to say or ask me at this point, so that I can understand what the challenges might be? I'm quite happy to answer any questions that might come my way. Okay, so if not, what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue on. And we go to the main section. So, an chlár mar dúirt mé béaltriil na harteiste sin an céadrod a bhí uin. Do examiners take bribes? Come on, Tommy. Yeah, I'd like to tell you, Tommy, examiners do or can, but I've not heard of it, to be perfectly honest with you. Okay. So we're going to continue on now, if I can, to the main part of the lesson, which is looking at an Chugainn next year, right? So an Chugainn, cúpla ceist, maidir le cuasaí oideachais, education, money, cuasaí taistil, travel, agus na difriochtaí éagsúla a bheith agat, agus, catú bheith réig agus olah donna ceise seo. Bí cinnte nach mé éon scrú de thóir ag éirí fannacht don ólas a bheith agat. Nobody's going to be waiting for you to give this information. It's assumed that you're going to know this. So I can't tell you how important it is to make sure you prepare this properly. It's simply not acceptable really to go into this exam if you don't have it prepared. It's just not a good thing to do. It's not going to work out well for you, is the way I put it. Okay, so Ariling, so Kinsor Kesha Tagwin. Well, Erdus, come make to an Extader and Bhliain Chugainn, where will you be studying next year? And will this a good, Ken course of Vega Yenavigus. That's very important. And make to Fannacht le the clown or le the Harja will be staying with your friends or with your family. Agus and Shin and three question shop. And meg ahnagut or vorandina sa chalashta no sanoska shin. Will you know or be familiar with many people in that college or university? Agus inishtam fuina difriochti, and this is one of my favorite questions, so make sure you prepare this one. Inishtam fuina difriochti idir Selan Dalta agus Selan Dalta Scolia agus Selan Bhliain. So that's a great question. Could you tell me about the differences between the life of a student and the life of a second level student? Also, made to an over part-time all, will you be able to get part-time work? So obviously that depends on your own situation. So Anish Rahimi Treed and Kesho come made to start in Bhliain Chugainn. So ag an buinte seo at this point, nílim cínta, I'm not sure. Nílim cínta. Ach tá súla gom, but I hope go meg me stader an ollscoil na Héireann Gaillimh in NUIG. Ernoy, of course, brahan sé gomór. This is the key phrase that people look for all the time. It really depends upon ar harthain na harteiste, agus a méid pointy of winning me amach in me lunasa and the amount of points that I managed to get in the month of August. Nor a líon méisteach an erm CAO when I filled in my CAO form, hug me tús áite I gave preference to the cuasaí san ollscoil sin, to the courses in that university. Mar ceapim go bhfuil gaiamh thar bar, because I think Galway is great. Just rud one, could somebody just let me know in the text, is the sound coming through okay there? Again, the phone is going off mad here. I better turn it off. Somebody just let me know in the text chat here, is the sound actually working out okay? Because again, it's a slightly different mic to what we had earlier. Okay. An darchuid an seo, bhí mé ag an lá oscailte. I was at the open day, so an lá oscailte san ollscoil cúpla mí ó hín, a couple of months ago. Rinne mé an túfás taidir na cuasaí mar hampla ólaíochta, so I did an awful lot of research. Rinne mé an túfás taide, I did an awful lot of research ar na cuasaí ólaíochta bhí ar siúl, gur mágad James, a bhí ar siúlintí. Chuid na háisne agus na léachtóirí go mór I gcionn orm. So the lectures and the facilities really impressed me. Chuig siad go mór I gcionn orm. They really impressed me. So that's a lovely phrase to know. Thanks, Tommy. Is léir gonnearna golóir inéistíochta. It's clear that an awful lot of investment, golóir inéistíochta, has been made san ollscoil le bliain to beagán for many years now. Deirtar gur ollscoil fíor cheanródíochaí. It is said that it's an extremely, or a top level, pioneering. Ceanródí is a pioneer. So it's an ollscoil fíor cheanródíoch. It's a pioneering university. As good stádas idirnáisiúnta buinte amach aici, and that it has achieved international status. For mé amach, gur rastal Dina Collar and os Michael D. O'Higgins, I found out that people like Michael D. Higgins gur rastal siad an ollscoil seo. Agus an taistil callú Mharcála Martin Sheen drastal sé an ollscoil Cumap, so he also attended. Agus rud eile bheith tábhachtach dom an Gailge, something else that would be important to me in Galway, not an bhéim a chuirtar ar an Gailge, the emphasis placed upon the Irish language ar fud na hollscoile. You're in an Irish language exam, so obviously enough. Anything that is ar son na Gailge, bhór na Gailge, that's going to be positive. Being an teangail le clostáil agus le feicáil chuile áit, so the language can be heard and seen everywhere. Agus is mór an buntáiste sin domsa mar is even an teangail. That's a big advantage for me because I love the language. Alright, so lena mi de raigan sin goodí an céad scáil an eile. Agus an cheistetá goin ná an méid tú ag fannacht le de chlán nó le de cordja. So an lóistín, the accommodation, an méid de lóistín féin agat, an méid tú ag taistil, méid tú ag tamánt chun na hollscoile. All these questions, how are you going to get there? What are you going to do when you do get there? Who are you going to stay with, etc. So, this is a big one. But v'ralum an bheith fannacht na Mharcála. I'd love to be staying with my friends. Ach nílam cínte an buinte seo, but I'm not too sure at this point. Go méid gachta acu in Gailge, that every one of them will be. So that every one of them will be in Gailge. So it could be in Mharcála, I Géirí, whatever it might be. Ma Irene le cuideacha, if some of them manage to freistar an ollscoil chéine along, if some of them manage to attend the same university as me, or that could be Coláiste, obviously. Déine me mo cheacht níhil, I'll make every effort chun lóisting the Haiségan Agru Adrin to organise or sort out some kind of an accommodation between us. Bheadh sé iontach na úntach do meach trúr nó cethar goin le chéile. It'd be wonderful if 3 or 4 of us were together. Furrier, alas, mar jouler an gulu ach na míochta as a result of the recession, right? And even though the recession's over, the effects of it are still there. Níl mór an airgid fágig ma hismahorí. My parents don't have much money left. Chail mahar a fos cúpla bliain ó hin. So this is an example of, you know, talking about the restrictions na strínta atá ort díoch mar jowl an gulu ach na míochta. So chail mahar a fos cúpla bliain ó hin. My father lost his job a few years ago. As níl mór an airgid curtha dashke. He hasn't put much money aside. Déine mo hismahorí an níhil, but something positive. My parents do their best. Chun freistal mo chuid riachtanis I gcónaí, they always do their best to cater for my needs. Ach, agus ní bheadh sé ceart, and it wouldn't be right, a gur hin íochail orthú, right? So someone was asking about the Mochanílach there a little while ago. The Mochanílach obviously would come into your general discussion and you can introduce it yourself. But this is a good example of how it could happen. So it wouldn't be right if I were to put demands on them. Íochas lóistín Gardan Old to pay for accommodation close to university. Be me now $1 must chuile lá, nor in Rutherford, so I'll be able to go on the bus every day, or even the bike. Even though I'm told people don't like to do that as much anymore. So Derterlum, Gumina Lon Dachrachti Eg Bhliain, I'm told that students have an awful lot of difficulties. Sachéad Bhliain model of Cursi Arrogate in relation to money. Cursi Ichán, dietary issues, August Cursi Olachan, and drinking or drink related issues. Marshin, therefore, Derma Hishmahori Gumeg Fanacht, my auntie, no my uncle, my parents saying going to stay my aunt or uncle. Sachéad Bhliain in first year, August Gumeg Moloshin Féna Agru Ashinamach, and I'll have to arrange my own accommodation after that. Felon She Dumsa, sure that suits me grand. Okay, so Bhliain Chester Shin Igmwit the shop. Marwil Lanime Reich, Gudi and K Kestella. So, Kupla Rod and Shaw. Erdús tá sé riachtanach tá bronarm tá sé riachtanach go mbeadh na dacrachtaí ar ólascut. So the difficulties that you might have or the challenges that you might have in college, you should know these where possible. Now again, all of the information that I'm giving you is exemplar material. It isn't that you necessarily have to do it like this. There's no obligation on you to actually answer using the material. Somebody asked a question earlier about learning stuff off by heart. There's no obligation on you to learn off any of the material that I give you here. But what is important is that you start thinking about how you're going to answer things, what you're going to use, why you're going to use it, and the implications of that. So anything you say on a relatively simple topic that everyone should be prepared to answer something on, you should be able to answer what is required. Now, I wouldn't advise you to, in the case of college especially, because it is something that there are a lot of potential questions you could be asked. I wouldn't advise you to have such a tight script that you can't move away from it. So that's just something kind of small to be aware of. So let's just take a further look now at some of the other points that we might be making. So, na dacrachtaí a bheith agat, the difficulties that you might have. So, Ceannacha, Anórmacha Olacháin, too much drinking. I'm always talking about an Brethir Sayer, the free verb. Okay, a curter. It's great. People talk about the Mochanílach all the time, but don't talk about an Brethir Sayer. Mar chuid ná dúrtha dan chora is a natural element of the conversation. You should be able to use the free verb. And again, there's lessons that I do in this. But anyway, this is a good example. Curter Brewart a vehigol de los diha. You're put under pressure to be drinking. And here's a nice phrase. Porrick spoke about it, having a knock kind of a goal de los diha, to be drinking morning, noon and night. Ke nach mean and target non tamaguk minute, even though you don't have the money or the time very often. Ke Caunella. Be brew ish group Madder la druggy. I'll be under some kind of peer pressure regarding drugs. Nivacum la druggy. I don't bother with them. Ach beg brew la nunach an orina oraha ganda. But without a doubt or for sure there'll be this continuous pressure from certain people. Agus and count dernach. Nive ein structure ig buint leis an lá scoile. There'll be no structure to this. There'll be no structure to the university day, if you like. Ní chorigéine íchalarm. No one will demand of me. Irias and lab agus frastal malechti, and nobody's going to demand that you go to your lectures. Okay, Kate could elada. So, couple of pointa. Tom McSulish. Ker tatu Xsulish. What are you looking forward to? Well, Tom McSul le bula le dina nua. Looking forward to meeting new peoples. Sir show mahishti, freedom from my parents. Atmosphere na scolia, or atmosphere in Hull scolia. No, atmosphere on Chalasha. So if you're saying of the university, it's na Hull If you're saying of the college, it's on Chalasha with a H on the C. Cé Cudella. Cérdal tá agsúleis. Tá agsúla full mo leachtóirí sínseacha. I'm looking forward to learning from some senior lecturers. Má skill na scríbhneoirta Albert, developing my written skills. Rochtan oscailte don Ireland, open access to the library. So má tá passion agat don léireacht. Seachtain na ngeobal. There's a big one that I am often asked about. What is the term for Rag Week? So seachtain na ngeobal is Rag Week. Imachtaí agsúlar on campus, various events on the campus ag dul thuras agrathe, taking part in guided tours. Nílam agsúil leis. So Bhliain rud atá tú bortha faoi. So nílam agsúla nó leis. So nílam agsúla bheith beo bochta gcónaí. This is the big one for me. I'm not looking forward to being broke all the time. How many Shanachos would I recommend for H1 or H2? In the just clarify that, Sophie, in terms of, are you talking about during the conversation or as part of the Strop Picture? Because I answered the one about Strop Picture earlier. Okay, by atmosphere electrochan, Kieran is saying. So, tá Kieran agsú leis an atmosphere electroch. Well, that's great, Kieran. By sé electroch, all right. Agus na scrúdathe nullig, níl agsú leis na scrúdathe nullig. So I'm not looking forward to the exams at Christmas time. Agus níl agsú leis an gocrocht. I'm not looking forward to the cooking for a lot of you. Pasta and ketchup doesn't constitute a proper meal. Anyway, I'm made Ibra gach Bhliain. Níl agsú leis an made Ibra, no made Ibra gach Bhliain. I'm not looking forward to the amount of work every year. Brew scrúdathe, exam pressure. Léachtaí a bharan uair an chléig, lectures that continue for an hour. Okay, agus an díon stadar, the intense study. I suppose tá sé sin a dhéanamh go faoi láthair. An cultúr iomaíocht, the competitive culture, agus iartis deontas, so grant applications, rudí mar sin. So, cúpla rud a bheith mar chuid den céilad scoile. Tionscanmh, projects, a coibrú, cooperation, obergrúpa, group work, planál, chuimseach, comprehensive planning, masanú lanúnach, continuous assessment, trochtas a scríb, writing a dissertation. Okay, that's a big word to know. Oberhéherlana, lab work, Changlan, laboratories, language laboratories. Now, if you recall from the first part of our session today, Pádraig was speaking about stórfocal, vocabulary. What we're trying to do here is give you that vocabulary now and allow you to decide what you want to talk about. So there's a lot of information, but it's easy to start putting a few verbs around this and a conversation. If you just look at this chart, there's an awful lot there. You could talk for a minute just on what you're looking forward to, what you're not looking forward to in college. There's a load of information there. So, get working on it. So, Cé Ceannella. Going to look at three rud an seo. Cuasaí taistil. So, travel. How things are going to work out from a travel perspective. Racha méar an bus. I'm going to go on the bus. Rohoi méar an ruther. I'll cycle on my bike. Yog me sheep. I'll get a lift from. So, yog me sheep on my yard, on my hishti, on my grahar. Ken oig me pass bus. I'll buy bus pass. Shule me. Why not? Fanna méar an campus. I'll stay on the campus. Bayarm trainer all, for example, in Dublin, or Station na Beershuk go Dunleary. So I'll have to get a train from Pierce Station to Dunleary. Gach Madden every morning. August Tranona. August 10 bus auto bus fide o Gredor go Gaillev Gach Shachten. No Gach der Shachten. So you can just very quickly, put in something simple there. I don't think anyone's going to have a major difficulty with that. Cuasaí arrogance, it's going to come up, or if you start talking about college in depth, it should come up. So, Tom Anna Vorha fui Cuasaí arrogant. I'm very concerned about money. Sula dia yoime and tisucht and target isucht. So, hopefully, I'll get the money on loan on Monk. Query me irtis a stock or yontus Bhliain. I'll put in an application for a student grants. Eluiha August is fader as soon as possible. Beg me ag bragamor chinaltus. I love this phrase. I'll be really depending upon the kindness of my parents. I hope to win a scholarship scheme. And I suppose the one that comes up most often, really, when you ask the question is Níl clú dá leid gom faoi láthair. I haven't a clue or gafol. I haven't a clue yet or at present. Tom Gaffel, of course, stadir. People say all the time, I'm busy with study, Níl clú gom. So, cé go mín cuasaí oibreann sin in terms of work, cé go mín sé deacair teacht ar fós part-time, so even though it's hard to come across a part-time job. Tásúla gom go méid me obair mar chúntar, I'll be working as an assistant. So this one kind of is a catch-all. It allows you to talk about the vast majority of the types of job you'll have. So a mar chúntar as an assistant, so shop out to local shops and host on the hotels, so chogus in the pharmacy, so shop a note on news agents, egg and dara shacht at the weekend, the rihan tarig during the summer, gakur of egg am sirigum. So every time I have a bit of freedom, I'll be hoping to do that. Okay, on a what? Well, ein question shop, just Tommy Geary, a lawn ruddy Yenavan Shaw, River Shaw, Vime Inson, Ifigella was outside in another office while I was answering questions while the interview with Porrick was playing on the system here. So I'm just trying to keep an eye on all the different people who are currently sending in texts. By the way, for anybody who has arrived in just a little later, you know, if you've clicked on the stream, you know, half an hour after the start time, we were 10 minutes late to begin with. Okay, there was a technical issue, but thank God we got around that. But if you are just arriving on this now, it doesn't matter that you're ahead or behind. The only thing that matters is in terms of asking live questions in the chat box. Obviously, you'll be behind, so that might be an issue for you. But please feel free to send me emails all the time to Gormagat a Hamish agus tá cúpla duine ag seolas cúpla text chum. So Seamus, Gormagat, thank you, Mother leis an fum. If you have any questions, send them to John at Leavingcertirish.com, because that really is the best way to go in terms of us trying to maintain some kind of contact and me assist you in answering your questions after this session. Okay, so Rash Cuig an Ober reached. So let me right. So churme just cúpla na ella, just a rare, just cúpla rod ella a bhí makes swinner fui. Other phrases that you might find useful, and just in no particular order. Tásúlagum go mé ma bhall den chuman Breatimeacht sa chaláiste. I hope to be a member of the drama SOC, Drama Society. Big part of college life. It could be ma bhall den chuman dísporta, part of the debating society, etc. So it could be den club óliachta, den club inaltorta, den club alina. So the science, engineering, art club, whatever it might be. Make sure, just little things here. I know grammar is an issue for a lot of people, and these Tishel Ginneruk, I'm not sure how many of you viewed my lesson on the Tishel Ginneruk, understanding the basics of Tishel Ginneruk. I have a lesson on YouTube. I might post it to the group here at a later point, but you know, there's an awful lot of stuff there on the basics of Tishel Ginneruk, but this kind of thing's important, you know. Then club óliachta, club inaltorta, etc. Try and have it right. Cluster can mean cracked and score faults in a club in Eigsula. One hears that there's great fun in all these various clubs. Agrit or Turish Lay, day trips, Turish Harlar, Urnta, so trips abroad are organised sometimes. It's on Shinna Vulig Mail, a Corda Nuit, then I'll meet with new friends, Augustina Simula or Hirella, and interesting people from foreign or other countries. Couple of phrases, Gafol, Nilisagum Gafol, I don't know yet. Or Nilisig Mahishmahori Gafor, my parents don't know yet. Being galore Sriente Igest, right? Madrila Kursi Arga. There's a lot of restrictions with regard to money. Tomik to Nu Gamor Leshon Sailshin. I'm really looking forward to that life or what it might be. Mata Dohanamagum. If I have enough time, I'll do whatever. And then Branche Gamor and Armclar Vegum. It really depends on the timetable that I'm going to have. Sophie asks, if you're talking about school, could you bring in the Mokaniluk? Like if I was the principal, I would. Yes, absolutely, Sophie. And that in the context of the topic on Skull, Cursi Scolia. You know, a typical question I ask people is, Inishtumfin Sculpture. Something very early on in the exam, normally after Inishtumfin Fain, Inishtumfin the Clown, Inishtumfin the Counter. Inishtumfin Sculpture is nearly always the fourth question I would ask somebody. And yes, that's a great opportunity to bring something like the Mo Caniloch. Tommy calls it the Mash Caniloch. I like that. I don't know if you've ever seen the Des Bishop sketch on the Mo Caniloch on In the Name of the Father, but it's quite funny. You should look it up online. You'd enjoy it. Okay, so Shin na Nahana Ella. Mátá Kesh reached. If there's a question, I'm just gonna quickly. So I have questions coming in here on my phone. So if it's okay with you, I'm going to be looking down here for a second. Okay, and I'm going to just try and deal with the questions as they come in here. Okay, so that's fine, and that's the okay. That's a question for later, maybe Becky. About revising the Strap Pictor. I might talk to you about something that we do there later. So I'll just flag that one and bring it up as one that we'll deal with later. And there's a few more questions in here. Questions. There's a question about Strap from Keane, which we'll do with Porrick in a little while if we can. Okay. Okay, thank you, Juliet, very much. I just got that there a few moments ago. Are you still on? But thank you very much for your kind words. All right, so let's continue on. Is everybody still okay to hang tough for another 20 minutes or thereabouts? How to talk about holidays, Saif? When you say how to talk about holidays, do you mean Leaving Cert on Taurig, school holidays, or do you mean family holidays? What specifically are you looking to refer to there? And I'll answer your question live as we're online. And while you're just maybe typing that in, I'll go on to the next just little chart I have here in your notes. So something I put in, because it's always an issue for people, is the future tense with that I will, that I won't. So just very quickly, each one up here. So talking Irish, Kieran, talking Irish, I'm not sure what you mean there. Lehin de Sira, veg lartu gwege is fedlo mission yena kuma ak brahanche gumus na chumas na nalti sha. So got or knock vibe that I will or won't get. Okay, got or knock nieni me that I will or won't do. Or make got or knock gaelig me, so I'll go with got from now on. Go gaelig me that I will lose. Go depig me, that should be DT. Go depig me that I will fail. Go volamoy me, that I will learn. Go nisig me that I will eat. Go mulig me that I will meet with. Go gahi me that I'll spend. Go lanig me that I'll continue or follow. Go dashaloi me that I will travel. Go visroig me that I will inquire about. August go nolhig me that I will drink. So they're just again couple of verbs. Karoi shid gomorlat. So any chance you could do a session for returning mature students at 14 years without Irish? Brian, that's actually something very specifically when you signed up to the email list. I'm assuming, Brian, you signed up to the email list. They're segmented, so any notes or any sessions I'll be doing, I would actually be making people aware of that for the mature students. So yes is the answer to your question. Okay, Lanimid Oraig, are we okay so for another couple of minutes, guys? I just need to get a marker where people are at. I'm assuming, if you're still with me, that we can continue on for a few minutes. We may or may not get to ring Porrick the way this is going. I'd like to do a little about Donald Trump and about Brexit, and this is very much for people at a fairly high level. So Porrick explained to you, you know, you don't have to bring in anything about politics. Ach mas míonlaat is féidir leat é seo dhéanamh. Mar tá golóir marcanna ag buint le seo. Má tá an stórfocail ag gceart agat, má tá cumas réasúnta agat, córa bheith leis an scrúdaitheoir. Tá sé réasúnta éasca chun é seo dhéanamh. Ach tá stórfocail ag tasadú. Tá sin é an job atá dhéanamh go man. Tá me géirí an stór sin a scapa onas go méid sé ag golóir daltaí timpeall na tíre. So what we're hoping for is that people will have the key information they need. Just two questions here. It'd be interesting to talk about your driving license. A lot of people have one, so it might be a topic. Yeah, yes, driving license again at a later date, James. I'll come back to that. That is clearly something that a lot of people want to talk about. Okay, so kind of advice to Donald Trump. What do you think of Donald Trump? Amalate Margwine, no Marfolator. Do you like him as a politician? An gapan tú go gredan sé gacrad a deirse. I asked someone this in a Mharcála last year. Do you think that he believes everything that he says? And dóileat gohfuil an dam seo níos contúirtí agus Trump sa teachbán. Do you think that this world is more dangerous? That Trump is in the White House? And cén éfacht a bheith ag uachtaránacht Trump ar an tír seo? What effect will Trump's presidency have in this country? Very relevant question just asked by Dervla there. As a politics and society student, will I be asked quite specific students on politics? No. Pádraig clarified that earlier when we spoke about, whether or not you need to be an expert in politics. The answer is no. You'll only ever have to talk about stuff in the oral that you effectively prompt. If you say something about politics, it can lead the examiner to that. I'm suggesting to students who want to score very highly and are interested in talking about the world as it is, to have a few serious terms regarding, stórfocal regarding Trump, Breatimeacht, agus Arilla. Okay? Good question, Ruby. How many current affairs topics would you recommend bringing up if you're looking for a H1? Brahan Sheriff Fain. Totally depends upon yourself, Ruby. I would be inclined to say that whatever higher level topic you bring up, whether it's in current affairs, Cuasaí Sláinte, Cuasaí Gaeligrach, Ceisna Timplachta, whichever one of those you want to, zone in on, an law, bheadh sé bhád níos fearr dá rán an ceann will on level ólis is mógad. So the one that you've the most knowledge about, Onas go mbeadh sin ná dúrtha dit, so it's natural to you. That's what you should do. I wouldn't try to cover a wide range of serious political topics because mar dúirt Pádraig ní bheadh dótha náma agat, you won't have enough time. So sin ceantas na faibanna a bheith agat. Okay, lean míad raig an seo. Náhanna atá againn. Tuaghrísor is a demagogue. If you don't know what a demagogue is, a person who incites political discussion and favour by harping on about populist issues. So he's a demagogue. Beidir gur tuaghrísor é. Tíorghráthóir, yeah, it's patriot gone out there, huh? Bob nuacht, fake news, hashtag baby. Agus phenomenon nua atá, it's a new phenomenon atá againn. Agus ceist a chur na Londíine an fascistí is he a fascist? God, that's a ceist down and yo. Rain chuí. Cén sort policy atá ge? Now, for anybody who's wondering, this is high level stuff. This is not easy. This is at the same level as your H1 ashta. So, ná bígí burtha faoi seo, ní gá go méach sé mar seo ditse. It doesn't have to be like this for you. Má stalta gná level who, ná bí burtha. Be sé carcail or an law. Ní gá det a bheith burtha faoi seo. If you're ordinary level, don't be worried about this. But it gives you an idea as to what you could focus in on and the level of vocabulary that you might want to bring to the exam on specific topics. So you can actually lead the examiner a little bit on specific topics. So cén sort policy atá ige? What kind of policies has he got? Well, ní aon tíim leis na policy atá ige. Go mór, especially, that's not a typo, na cína bhfuin leis na hinimmercaig, especially those concerning immigrants. Capim go gohíonn sé an dialed mhór. I think that he sustains this, or he supports, if you like, this dialed mhór, this massive gap or division. Atá bubble verá lena Vladaris Ravla is nonsense and raving. But while leis America dhéana únta choríis, he'd like to make America great again. Ach bei sé deacair dó a ís a iarú. It'll be difficult for him to make his vision real. Okay, so to make it happen. America sa chéadát, America first, an mana nuatága is his new mantra. Ach seans gur buimhín eile í seo, but it's a chance that this is another silly desire that he's got. Ní hun America agus an down. America and the world is not the same thing. Agus is more an trua nach diggin Trump sean. It's an awful pity that Trump doesn't understand this. Níl seans dá lai go nairói leis má leanan sé leis an gurchuige achrannach cineoch atá a bhaimige le bliana nuas. There's no chance that he'll succeed. Má leanan sé, if he continues leis an gurchuige with the approach that's achrannach, is difficult and cineoch and racist, atá bhaimige le bliain anuas that he's been using for the past year. Okay, cé ceann eile. So, an dóileach gur má leis irisóirí agus buail na man chumar sóide. Do you think he likes journalists and members of the media? Well, níl doubt ar bifhui ach bhfuil drochadribh idir agus na man chumar sóide. There's no doubt but that there's a bad relationship between him and members of the media. Is léir gur bagart olmhóra Trump de cheanmhaíocht na Stát Aontaithe. It's clear that Trump is a huge threat to the old establishment of the United States. Nuair der, or sorry, an question an dóileach gur má le irisóirí. Oh yeah, we did it. Nuair der Kellyanne Conway, Corlor Special there and Trump. So when Kellyanne Conway, a special advisor, a Corlor Special there Aaron Trump on Trump's team said, gur bhain an prasrúnaí Sean Spicer lasas that he made use of Rawa Elefirki. Do you all remember this? Alternative facts. Hashtag alternative facts. This was unbelievable stuff. Gur bhain sé lasas Rawa Elefirki. Higamar Lárach, we understood immediately. Nach gná uachtaránacht a bheith ósar gur that we weren't going to have an ordinary presidency before us. Fadas war Trump's a chapán as long as he was in the House or the White House. Le déine or recently, Dibria Turscory o CNN, reporters from CNN, the New York Times and BBC and the Guardian, Dibria Eid Asan Chapon, they were thrown out of the White House. Is Ulk an Re Ishin. So that's a kind of a reference to a Shanokal, that's an ill wind. In Norira Pira, in reality, near Hil me Reeve Gumea Kusk Umlan or Fras Okadisa Chapon. I never thought there was going to be any kind of bans on press occasions in the White House. Ach chance more nish gumeg, but there's a good chance now that there will be. Okay, August Landmead Raig. How do you suggest to bring in Donald Trump, Claire says, into the conversation for someone looking for top grade? Now, Tasha Shin Simul galore. Moss Federlat, if possible. By chance agat, Lord fui countess na fiben a better sa skull. Maybe one of the problems in school, or better countess na fiben a sa fubble. So, marhample, lesh and drochaimsher with the bad weather. Is fiddle after all rather nos, vi me mira fuim drochaimsher shin. Agus in remi sauce lesh made olish a scap na politory. Agus shin countess na fiben at avina goine goni. Nach nation le politory le winter na tira. Agus, ní fibe isha in na one. Faker Donald Trump, Neil Shegeshile, and something like that maybe, Claire. You could just kind of happen to fall into it if you wanted. But there's obvious other things. So in terms of bochtanis, poverty, skevlehor terrorism, there's a lot of other entry routes to that, and it's something again I with kind of main subscribers to Leavingcertirish.com. That's something I work with them on. But there will be some other occasions where I might be able to help you out with that too. So in Oripira, Tasha Shin Dentigwin, right? Land me right. Okay, Agus Kupla Rodella. The threat now, and well is more an ish. No, the biggest threat now is Gunyene she Bart the rare breher. Again, the phrases Porrick was talking about. Gunyene she Bart the rare breher, that he will do as he says, that he will do what he says he's going to do. Okay, that didn't work out so successfully. Maybe if we highlighted in green, it might work a bit better. Gunyene she Bart the rare breher. He will do what he says he would do. Okay, Kay Kudella. Shansk American realtors are inimerking me the lahaka. Ernig Sonorov, there's a good chance the government will capture or go after illegal immigrants, Irish people included. As could Gafra Makoverki, and maybe they'll be thrown out of America. Lanig Ayarka Grana, his ugly perspective. Idev Naman, Namyunlis, the Muslimig Akahora, regarding women, minorities, and Muslims especially, will continue. Dedoch Chuncher Tobustoch Avet or Folsa Achtranacha. There could be a disastrous result to his Polisa Achtranacha, to his foreign policies, August Cossanta in defence. Gomurmur Savannah, her, especially in the Middle East. So, Arish, Storfocal, Ordavale, really high level Storfocal. So, Trump, Being Donald Trump in Mail and Fubble, Bhliain Gachlanish. Trump is in Mail and Fubble. He's in the news is the phrase I suppose we'd use in English. He's somebody that's topical. Bhliain Gachlanish. Almost every day now. Well, in fact, every day. I don't think it's even sort of every day. Níor chreidéine go dtabhfaí ina uachtaráin. Nobody believed he'd be elected. But while leis fáil réig leis an bhreasúir deach na cógála, he'd like to get rid of the opposition in Congress. Is cuma sa teach leis. He couldn't care less about minorities, faoi bhionlaigh, agus daoine lochlacha, and vulnerable people. Okay, so if you've studied on trial, Colleen Lochlach atá I Wara. So, Níl Tuiscint dá leidige maidir le Carta Bonúsca déine. He has no understanding of basic human rights. Is léir don dail go bhfuil everybody knows go bhfuil tréthe an aisistí agus an túrís óra ann. Everyone knows he's got the has got, I've just got a text there from somebody. Is léir don dail go bhfuil tréthe an aisistí agus an túrís óra ann. It's clear that everyone has got the traits of or that he's got the, not everyone, my God, what an awful thing to say. I'm trying to say too many things at this stage, and I actually think it's probably time for me to take a little drink of Coca-Cola. I do apologise. So it's clear to everybody that he's got the traits of a fascist and a demagogue. Agus tágan drochfála na bumnuachta. I love this phrase I put together for you. The bad smell of fake news. Tang Séimeach on Teachbán go léi, who comes out of the White House on a daily basis. Agus, Tom Dubhdóite. I'm burnt out ar fad den bhuiliocht of the Bhliain, den Racht and a Ferige, of all of the fits of rage, agus den drochfas a cloisteroid that we hear from him. Okay. So, just Ceist one ella, Breatimeacht. I was going to do a lot more on this, but just very quickly, because I know there's some people really wanted this, I'm going to give you a very quick rundown on this one. So, cén sort implachtaí a bheith Breatimeacht the winter na here. What kind of implications will Brexit have for Irish people? Just 3 points here. I don't want to go any further than that. And so let's just very quickly take a look at this. There's a much more extensive lesson this I'll have to do another time. So, Ernoig, of course, tá cadre speisialta ag an mratan Lehéireann. Of course, there's a special relationship. We always hear about this in the news. There's a special relationship between Ireland and Britain. Ag dul I bhaid that's going back a long time. Agus ní féidir linn é sin a scris, and we can't destroy that. Their príomh-aire na Breataine, Theresa May, the British Prime Minister, Theresa May, says nach dúchaigh athru ar an gadraimh sin, that there'll be no change in that. She's hoping to make Breatimeacht vogue, that there'll be a soft Brexit. Riachtanach do Gallagher na Héireann. Their soft Brexit, which we're all hoping for, will be riachtanach do Gallagher na Héireann, essential for the Irish economy. Súla dia, hopefully, Chukfar ar réiteach, a solution will be found in relation to Brexit. A chintóid that will make sure go méid limisteir séir glúisteachta. Alright, I'll put it in here. Go méid limisteir séir glúisteachta that the free movement area, or common travel area is what they call it, anna going there will always be in Ireland. Ní féidir linn fille ar cheanteornacha an tuisgurt. We can't return to the old borders of the north. Ní bheadh aine sauce and nobody will be happy. Hús agus has north and south dá dóg faoi teor nua idir an dá limseir if there was to be a border constructed between the two regions. Bei socrathe nua trádála, there'll be new trade agreements either on riocht ainta ag tastal, either areas on riocht ainta ag tastal between Ireland and the United Kingdom. Agus bei tionchar olvor ag an aintas Orpach to be massive influence by the EU mother leis na conraí nua a ein tofer regarding the new contracts that are signed, or the new agreements that are signed, obviously. Treaties they can be, obviously. Gone doubt for sure. Querfer Socra nua tasha vaim, new travel arrangements. Socraha nua tashta will be put into effect. By Socraha nua Kona agus Ibra Dernig to be new arrangements for workers and for Irish people who are living and working in Britain. Ach níl clú dá leid a going care. But to be honest, we haven't got a clue what will be there. Okay, so Lanimid Araig and Shin Godina Keshtana. Now I've got an awful lot of texts have come in and questions and whatnot. There is no chance whatsoever that we'll be able to get through them all. But I'll deal with a couple that have just come in there in the last couple of minutes. I'll try and deal with some of them. Ellen asked a question here, and I think it's very relevant. In doing the strap picture, you're saying the verb in the wrong tense. Should you correct yourself or keep going? It's a good thing if you correct yourself. You're displaying that you know that it's a mistake. And that's a wonderful way of demonstrating a Cumann language ability, because you actually have the ability to correct yourself. That's a very good thing. Obviously, you don't want to be correcting yourself every 20 seconds. But if possible, if you make a mistake, if say something with the strap picture, yes, correct it, but try not to do it an awful lot. You don't want to be doing it every 10 seconds. Would your marks improve or get higher if you did talk about Trump, Corsi Politialta? Again, it's not about your marks being higher because you talk about Trump. It's your marks will be higher because of the level of vocabulary that you're bringing to the mix. But if you can't actually do it fluently, it's not going to help you. You'd be better to talk about an Madra, an Aimshire, agus Lehan de Sira, and do it well and fluently than talk about Trump badly. So really this is about, a lot of this material about Trump and Breatimeacht is what people looking for H1s, 2s and 3s are looking for. It's what they want. They want to go and talk about Corsi Raha, contemporary issues, the man conversado, the media. But also there's another advantage to working on this for the oral. It's that you'll have it for the written. And that's a huge reason why people would work on these topics. Okay. Any tips for the straw? Park the bus is the person. I love the username. Tips for the straw. I'd make sure that you're revising what you know already. And if you're still covering some new ones, which you no doubt will be in many cases, try insofar as it's possible to get that work out of the way before Patrick's Day. Give yourself, if you're people in the northern half of the country, they'll be starting their orals from the 16th of April. So if you set Patrick's Day as a target date, get your straw done. For everyone else, I'd say try and have them done by the 10th of March. That would be what my advice would be. Tips other than that, make sure you get it done. Do I have any other notes on the website for Irish oral like these? Yeah, there's loads of stuff that I've on the website or on the app actually. I didn't talk much about this now, but look, obviously we're coming up to 1 o'clock. It's been an intense enough kind of a morning, and there's a lot of other stuff I'd love to get through. We're not going to do the call with Porrick. There just isn't enough time to do that, so we'll have to schedule another live stream for that, maybe a Q&A session directly with Porrick and I. Or we'll be doing a conference anyway during the midterm break, during the Easter break. We'll be doing a conference, kind of a revision course that people can come to, so you could have more time with him there too. But one thing, the Leaving Cert Irish app, if you go to the App Store, it's $2.99 on Google Play and it's $3.49 now. I think they increased the price. iTunes did on the App Store. But if you download the app, it's probably the best way to go. One of the things that I'll just point out is on the app, people are talking about the straw picture. There's a little section there called Test, which is basically flashcards. And those flashcards are wonderful in terms of revising. So that would be a very good idea to use the flashcards. The live class is basically a link to this class normally. Today there was an issue with it. Don't know what happened, but we'll figure that out later. This is where the recorded tutorials are all put in. So the notes for the straw picture for 2018 are on that right now, but the recorded tutorials, I'm going to start putting up the videos of them for people who need that. There will be some specific courses you'll be able to buy at some point on this. I'm not sure yet exactly what we're going to do this year. I'm under huge personal pressure at the moment with time, unrelated to work. So there is an issue there in terms of what courses I actually can deliver or will have the time to deliver, but I'll let you know in time where that's the case. I would be most grateful if you would just share with people what we do on Facebook and Twitter. Not that a lot of you are using Twitter probably anymore. The newsletter is the notes if you sign up for the notes, and of course you can just email us. But if you download the app, it's a good way to communicate with us. It's a good way to support us as well. Obviously, everything I've done today and all the work we're doing is free gratis, and I'd be most appreciative of any support you could give me in that respect. So, Shinné, an bhfuil éon ceise goibh an seo. Michelle, you're welcome. Siobhan, tá fáilte rud. Gurmila, Kevin, yeah. A couple other questions. Health system obesity discussion, yeah. There's a lot of stuff there that we could get into. Won't be able to get through today, Niamh, but yes, it's a big one. I have a lesson in my oral revision course for that. Tá fáilte rud, Gabby. Do I think something in the Irish language would come up in the orals? Oh yeah, has to, has to. Like an Gaeilge, again, it has to come up in the context of the Córad, Tá fáilte rud, Clara. It has to be something that's natural, it's not just going to come out in oral. So, agus tú kind faoi na Harvard School. So it's even ó Tommic Stadar Seach Návar, see Gaeilge Béarla Mata, Francas Star, Tíreolaíocht agus Beholíocht. She an Gaeilge an Tábharas Fearlam. If you start off with that and continue on, of course, ceann na ceise bheith an scúlar ná an raibh tú sa Gaeltacht riamh. Cad is féidir lína dhéine chun an teanga a chathú. Cad is féidir lína dhéine chun TG Cahar a thuirteasteach in sa choriclum. You could go into a million different questions, but once you focus on that section where you're talking about skull, Cursi Scolia, that's a wonderful opportunity for you to go and do that and talk about an Gaeilge and what goes with it. Are there live shows every week? If so, what time? Gurmila, tá fáilte rud, Niamh. Yes, the live streams are supposed to be Thursday nights, 8 o'clock, or sorry, 8:30. 8 o'clock some nights. If you're on the email list, if you go to Leavingcertirish.com, click on notes and sign up to the email list, you'll be able to get the emails from me about that. If you're not on it, you won't maybe get the notification that's on earlier or later. Normally, it's supposed to, tá fáilte rud, normally it's supposed to be at a specific address on this YouTube system. But today, something savage went wrong for the first 10 minutes. Don't know what it is yet, but I'll have to research it. But normally it works very well, and it works directly on the app. So, you can join us on Thursday nights. I will also be running an oral course with Pádraig Gilmore, Pádraig McGillivray, a kind of a revision course during the Easter, looking at some of the really key topical issues on the run up to it and going through some more information like this, more notes and information like this. But again, that's all something for yourself to decide if you want to come back to us and support us and what we're doing. Will they be asking questions about Bhliain and Gaeilge? Again, Seachtain na Gaeilge would definitely be one of the things. Bhliain and Gaeilge, you'd imagine, would be one of the things, but I'm not sure how much awareness lots of students have about it. I am dubious about that. So I would say Seachtain na Gaeilge would be a better bet. Céir bhí á dhéanamh go the Seachtain na Gaeilge, and bhí se caite last month, because that's what it's going to be. Churthain agus Churthain. Kevin, is that good enough for you? Churthain agus Churthain. Hope that answers your question. Tá fáilte rud, Sophie. So guys, I suppose the only other thing I'm going to ask of you, if I can be so bold as to ask of you, you might just do me a favour. It would be really helpful if you could send me some feedback. Send me an email to john@leavingcertirish.com. And what that will do is it will allow me to gauge how well I'm serving the general need here. I've a lot of experience doing this anyway. A lot of you are new to this today, but I've a lot of experience doing this. To fault row, Kevin. But what I would like is some feedback. And if one or two of you were happy to send an email that I could use as a testimonial on the website, just to take a part of it, I'd appreciate that too, because it would let other people know that you value what we're doing and would help them as a result. I suppose, Inish, the Chorja Fuin Service, tell your friends about it. Inish to the Woontori, where we'll share all go. Tell your teachers about it if they don't know about it. all of the Srá Picture material, everything the Srá Picture will be on the app. And in the next few weeks, that will be a huge resource. Notes, flashcards, video tutorials to help people get through the Srá Picture. So, Mas Feder live on scale scapa if you can spread the story, the news, vein harve buichtib. Bhliain Ceist Yarnach an seo. Any final question? Okay, there's a question here about the ash actually has come in that I just missed a second ago. There's no way to predict the topic that will come up, but in your opinion, what events or topics that were prevalent this year are likely to come up? Okay, I suppose we're into the prediction territory here. Without wanting to state the obvious, I think there have been some major international events. I think at some level, Bhliain agus Bagart is Éile Léonio, danger and threats, or Skevla Hort. Terrorism has been a major feature, unfortunately, the last couple of years. A lot of people or last couple of months, people are talking the whole time right now about school shootings and all that. I would avoid that. I just wouldn't bank on anything like that. I will at a later point be doing an Ashta live stream, a free one, so we might leave it until then. But idir an dálinn, den gachiíocht go mbeadh an stór focail agat de féábhar a bheadh an bápéir scríofa. Okay, Bhliain Ceist eile an chat an seo. Mar bhfuil lena mé a raig agus beag lóna gom agus súla dia bula mé live reached. Thank you so much for being part of the session today. Reached gur míle mágad de fóric agus rinne sé sár obair a réir. Tá táling bhfuil duine cosúla póric sásta teachtar lína agus carúlin. Agus súla dia ní bheith an amsir a chur isteach ar don der seachtainna beag sos heis éigen a goibh an aimsir seo. Ach túrara gur míle mágad slán go fólín be mé deagháil live reached. Could I do a listening live stream? Is féidir an mé sin James Quinta. Okay, tá fáil droibh slán go fól túrara.